Motorcycle Awareness Month continues, and joining us in Aussie Bikers HQ, it's nice to have Jane McKellar with us. She's on the chair, not the chair just in our studio, but the board. I've promoted you at NRMA. So you've moved up the ranks.
Don't tell Tim that.
Yeah, women can do anything. So when I say the NRMA, it's not the NRMA as in the insurance part, it's the roadside assistance part.
Yep.
And how big is that?
Well, we have about over 2.5 million members.
Wow.
Yeah, so very, very active and passionate road users that are part of our member base, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And what about motorcycles? Do they feature heavily in the roadside thing? Because I'm with the NRMA,
yep.
but I've never actually had to use them. Touch wood.
Touch wood, yeah. But our patrols are geared up for doing motorcycle maintenance and retrievals and so forth. And in fact, a lot of our patrol guys are mad keen bikers as well. So I think part of it's about really making the whole ecosystem of the road work together. So whether it be bikes or cyclists or pedestrians or cars or trucks, that we actually are all coexisting.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I don't know who would be the Tyrannosaurus Rex and all that. But I look at you and it's so nice, and it sounds, I don't want to sound like one of those patronising guys. It's so good to see women riding motorcycles. But you're not just riding a motorcycle, you're riding a Fatboy, which is just, it's so impressive because it's such a great bike. And now I'm sounding like a patronising guy again, because you never, and I've been riding motorbikes since I was 19.
Yeah.
And back then, girls didn't ride motorbikes, and you certainly didn't imagine them riding a Harley Fatboy.
Yeah. Well, this is my dream bike, I have to say.
It's everyone's dream bike. It's my dream bike.
I mean, it's about 350 kilos to move around, so it is pretty heavy, but once you're on the road, it's magic. And the roads around New South Wales and around Australia are just absolutely magic to ride on. And the NRMA promotes a lot about roadies and road trips, and we're looking at roadies for bikes as well as for cars. And I have great joy going down to the Snowies, for example, down the coast to Bateman's Bay, or up through Mudgee and Tamworth and round down the Oxley, to Port Macquarie, and then of course stay over in the Hunter for a little libation. And
or two. And where did you actually start riding motorcycles? Where did that hit you?
Well, it was really all my dad's fault. When I was about 8, my dad was a bit later to starting to ride. For him, as I suspect for a lot of us, it was really about the freedom of the road and a bit of anonymity. And I would just hop on the back, and I was brought up in Scotland, and we would go all through Scotland, all through Europe together, and it was just magic father-daughter bonding time.
Cold.
Sleet.
Yeah, but we've got a picture here of your dad. So this is your dad on top of. So what's he doing here?
So that's my dad as part of the Royal Marines in the UK. It's their sort of rider group, and he found himself on top of the ladder in one of their display teams.
Well, just found himself.
Just happened to be there.
It's a Scottish weekend.
It is, yes. That's what we all do.
But it's just extraordinary. How many people are on that bike? It looks like about 20
No,
people.
I haven't counted, but
it's
luckily
incredible.
They didn't fall off. So.
Yeah.
And then after that, actually, when I came to Australia 25 years ago, I got my license here, and because it's such a magic country to ride in.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm not looking at the Women Riders World Relay.
That's right.
And because we've got Helga, who's coming up on the story very shortly.
Wonderful Helga.
So you rode with Helga?
Yeah, so the Women Riders World Relay started as an idea from the UK, and Hayley Bell, and she started in the north of Scotland, so a place called John O'Groats, which is the furthest north tip. And basically there's a baton that has gone through the whole of Europe, through Asia. It was in Australia and New Zealand last month. It's now gone all the way through Canada, through the US. It'll right down through South America, heads over to Africa, and we'll finish probably February. And really the purpose of it is to promote awareness of the fact that there are a lot of lady riders out there and women riders. And that we should be suppose, paid attention to.
Well, I
as
think
well.
the thing is, the more people riding, the better it is for all of us, because the awareness
Exactly.
is heightened.
Exactly.
But you can never be too aware.
Exactly, and I mean, you say to drivers, as Brian did, that just take that extra time to look. Just when you're pulling out and out of a side road, just take a second look to see if there's a motorbike there, because it could be your mother, it could be your son, it could be your best friend. You just never know.
They could be on the board of the NRMA.
Well, that's right.
That would be terrible. Imagine if you took that person out. That'd be terrible.
And I think for riders as well, just ride within your means.
Indeed.
Ride to the weather conditions and the road conditions, and just always make sure you have an out. You know what your out is. If you're going around the corner and there's a kangaroo in the middle of the road, what's your out?
Yep.
What are you going to do about it? So we actually had a fun thing when we were growing up, which was part of my dad creating awareness for us, was spot the number of bikers you can see on the road. So it gave you a heightened sense of how many bikes actually were on the road. And of course, nowadays, there's so many more.
Yeah. And if you see 20 Scotsmen on one bike, then perhaps you shouldn't be driving at all.
Yeah.
Go back
Exactly.
to the pub. Oh, Jane, thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you so much.
Shiny side up. Look out for Jane McKellar on the road.